Hello, sci-fi gangsters. This is the show where we do a lot of things, but today we're playing Star Trek Adventures, one of my favorite things to do. Welcome everybody here. Two of us are wearing our uniforms. Mike, Jeremy, I do expect you to invest in a uniform so we're all on the same page. Imagine if we all met in person and we all wore our uniforms in person. How nerdy and amazing that would be. Just like absolutely amazing. But anyways, but once again, we're here to play Star Trek Adventures. This is going to be our soft reboot of Star Trek Adventures. I've changed a couple things. We're keeping a lot of the same things. Your characters will essentially be the same, although we are going to be leveling up more. So I had to get rid of some of your abilities, but we'll level you up. So don't worry about that. I made a couple other story changes. I'm going to make this more one-off-ish, meaning that each individual episode is designed to be more like TNG rather than Deep Space Nine, meaning, although Deep Space Nine definitely had their one-off episodes, but it's designed to have a singular episode, a singular story, maybe hinting at a larger arc as we progress through the show. That's what I call this, the show. And we have our people here. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. So we'll kind of revolve around the table here. We'll go around the table. You tell us your character, or who are you and your character. How about that? We'll start off with Mike. Why don't you go ahead and start us off?
I'm Minden. I'm a Benzite, and I'm the science officer, and I'm a people person.
All right. Well, very good. Excellent. Well, it's good to have you on the ship. But once again, it's you're still on the same ship. It's the USS Pike. It's a Galaxy class starship. You're still in the Shackleton Expanse, so you're still in a region of space where there is a starbase, but you're there to sort of explore. You have sort of a diplomatic relationship with the Klingon Empire, so you're both on the station together, you're collaborating, you're working together, but you're also exploring this area of space. It's the USS Pike. You're all serving on the USS Pike. Once again, a Galaxy class ship. If you're watching, you can see that I put the USS Pike in front of us, so you can all see it. You can all visualize where you're at. Let's go and move on to Acid.
Yes, I am the one, the only, the man, myth, legend, Brag Galov Slal. That's Slaal for those people who care about that kind of stuff. I am a Tellarite. I am a lieutenant as well, although my insignia, if you can see that, is captain. But that's okay. We're going to look right over that. And I am the flight controller. So I am perfect in all that is ship and ship related combat. And I can get you where you need to go.
Well, very good. It's definitely good to have you here. Once again,
yes, I know you're welcome. You're welcome.
You're wearing your Starfleet uniform, which I do most certainly appreciate.
I know, I got you.
And am I wearing my comm badge on the wrong side? Because I can't wear it on this side because I got the zip situation. Anyways, moving on to Jeremy.
I am Commander Jason Masters. I'm a male human with a background in science, who is currently first officer of the ship.
All right, well, fantastic. Excellent. So,
for now.
All right, so here are a couple of changes that I'm making to this particular ship. The commanding officer is a legacy character. I thought it'd be kind of fun to have this character as the captain because I always felt like this character needed a little more, needed to be sort of like canon expansion to this character. Your captain is Captain Tuvok. Captain Tuvok is the commanding officer of the ship. Nice. So the time frame we're talking shortly after the Dominion War, shortly after Voyager gets back.
And this has nothing to do with your currently watching Voyager. Is that? It's nothing to do with
this might have a little bit to do with I'm currently running through Voyager. It might have a little bit to do with that.
Oh, okay.
You have another, Jeremy, I feel like you have something to say. What are you going to do?
So the Pike is an old ship then.
The U.S.S Pike is the name of the. Yeah, it's an old ship. Yeah, because it was in the Dominion War. Like I said, well, that's part of its legacy. It fought in many of the battles of the Dominion War, and it's sort of like it's experiencing sort of like a half retirement, half renaissance kind of a situation where it's being has had a little bit of a refit, a little bit of an update, but it is a relatively old ship. Yeah, in the Shackleton Expanse. But yeah, you have Captain Tuvok. There's another legacy character on the ship as well. She may make an appearance from time to time. That is the counselor of the ship, and that is Esri Dax. Esri Dax is on the ship as well. You also have several other side characters, just in case you were curious, and I have the character sheets here. You have Lieutenant Donkra, usually played by CJ, but Donkra will be around, and I have the character sheet just in case you are interacting with Donkra. I also have Dr. Murata, usually played by Noah, but the doctor will be around just in case you need the doctor. Other characters, you have Ensign Zom, who's a Ferengi, sort of like a science expert that will be around, sort of helping out Minden and that sort of thing. And you have, obviously, you have Captain Tuvok, and then you have a new character, one that's going to be near and dear to my heart, and that is Dr. Danar. Dr. Danar is an Andorian.
Yeah, he is. And he's a doctor. Is that correct?
He's a doctor.
Okay.
He's a researcher.
Checking.
He's a holodeck studies researcher, and he'll be around just kind of hanging out. He's doing his own research, but he's currently stationed on the Pike.
Does he have any type of holoddiction or anything like that?
He doesn't have that.
Okay.
He doesn't have any of that, but he definitely likes holodeck stuff.
Gotcha.
All right, very good. All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. This is my own. I'm not going to say original because this is heavily inspired by an episode of a series. So it's not completely original, but it's a good one-off kind of episode. So we're going to start off with the captain's log. Right, so this is Captain Tuvok. I'm going to try to do my Tuvok impression. It's not going to be very good. All right, here we go. Captain's log. That was just me.
Wow.
We are on our way to an uncharted planet into the Shackleton Expanse. A Klingon ship went missing 3 days ago, and we have been ordered to investigate. It will take 3 days by warp for us to arrive. In the meantime, I am familiarizing myself with my new assignment. The U.S.S Pike is a formidable ship with an impressive war history. The crew seems exceptionally trained. It is currently 1100 hours, and I will spend the next few hours in meditation. Right, that's the sort of, you're on your way to investigate this Klingon ship that went missing in an area of the Shackleton Expanse. So this is what I need before we begin. I need to know where everybody is right now.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start off with Jeremy. Jeremy, where are you right now? Where's Commander Masters at right now?
What time did you say it was?
1100 hours, 11 a.m.
I assume I'm on the bridge.
You're on the bridge. Okay, what are you doing on the bridge right now? What do you think you're doing?
I'm just chilling in my XO chair.
He's chilling in his chair.
So you sort of have the con, you have the bridge right now. You're sort of in the captain's seat right now.
I mean, there's 3 seats, so I could be the captain or I could be the XO seat, depending on.
So at this time, you got Tuvok. He's hanging out in it. Let's just say in his room, right? His quarters.
Okay.
He's meditating. So
I'm lazy right now.
we can say you're sort of in charge at the moment. All right.
Okay.
Anything on your mind? Anything you're working on right now? This is a good time to build some momentum. By the way, I'm just going to throw that out there. Doing various tasks can build momentum, which could be used for things later on in the game.
One of my foci is environmental control.
Okay.
So I could be thinking about how to improve the efficiency of our environmental control to save us power.
So maybe you're kind of like looking at the console right now and you're kind of just like kind of messing with the environmental controls, seeing if there's any like issues there. So let's go ahead and we're going to, this is going to be a difficulty of 0 and you're going to roll 2 d20s, but this task is going to be, let's see here. It's going to be, let's say engineering, right? That makes sense. But let's do presence and engineering. So yours would be a 15. So roll 2 d20s.
I rolled a 1 and a 4.
A 1 and a 4. All right, so this is what's happening right now. Because environmental control is one of your focuses, you're going to get a double 1 for the 4 because it's below the 5. And then what was the other roll you had?
1.
A 1, all right? And that is a true 1, which means you get 2. All right, so you've built up 4 momentum just by doing that. All right.
Okay.
All right, very good. The max momentum is 5, by the way. So Jeremy has helped out you all very significantly. All right, so let's go ahead and go to Slaw. Slaw, what are you doing right now?
Excuse me. I am in the shuttle bay with the chief engineer working on one of the shuttles to improve speed and weapon efficiency, and we're actually working on a instant command to pull a Picard maneuver on one of the shuttles.
All right, so you're kind of like just working on that. You're kind of
We're improving a shuttle, one shuttle. We're looking into it. It's not a prototype shuttle. It's just one of the current shuttles that we're improving weapons and speed on.
all right. I'm going to rewrite our canon right off the bat. Zom is going to be the chief engineer.
Okay.
So the Ferengi Zom will be your chief engineer.
Okay.
We'll give him the rank of lieutenant. Lieutenant Zom. So Zom and Slaw are hanging out in the shuttle bay, kind of just improving the efficiency of the maneuvering of things.
Because one of my focuses is shuttle racing, and of course, as you know, in 6 weeks, the Beta Cot 2 shuttle race is coming up, and we're improving this shuttle to we're going to win this thing. Okay, we're going to win it. It's the Beta Cot 2 shuttle race. It's for all the marbles, literally. We're going to get all the marbles, all of them.
All right. Once again, we all know that Lieutenant Slaw is a really big shuttle racer. Like that's his big hobby is he likes to race shuttles.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like, it's almost like he's souping it up. Like he's working on like a racing car. He's working on that shuttle. He's asked Zom to help out. Zom's sort of just kind of doing this on his free time, just helping out, souping up.
Yeah, he's on his lunch break. Yeah, he's on
his lunch break,
helping me out,
souping up this shuttle. Very good. So let's go ahead and roll for. This is going to be also a difficulty of 0. Go ahead and roll 2 d20s.
I got an 18 and an 8.
Oh, I forgot to tell you what attributes this is going to be.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Since you're sort of kind of going outside standard operating procedure when you're kind of souping up this shuttle, we're going to say daring.
Daring, okay.
And daring and con.
Daring.
So that's going to be 16 for you.
16 for me. So do you want me to re-roll, or you want me to keep those two?
No, we'll stick with it. So you got the 18. That's a fail. But what's the other one?
An 8.
An 8. So that is a success.
Yep.
Right. So you did bank that momentum there. So you guys are at the max momentum, which is fun, totally fine. Right.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and move on to our Ensign Minden. Ensign Minden, what are you doing?
I guess I'm at the bridge as well, just at a computer console, acting like I'm, what's the word I'm thinking of? Monitoring incoming messages, but I'm actually playing Space Invaders.
Nice.
Okay.
The classic.
He's playing a video game. Space Invaders while he's supposed to be working, but that's totally fine, right? That's sometimes you got a downtime. Sometimes you just got to blow off some steam. All right, well, very good, excellent. All right, so just kind of recap where everybody is on the Pike here. We have two people on the bridge, right? We have Ensign Minden on the bridge, and then we have Commander Masters, who is sort of in on the bridge, kind of just working on stuff. And then you got Lieutenant Slaw, who is in the shuttle bay. All right, so you're kind of working on your stuff, and then all of a sudden, the typical happens, and the ship sort of just starts rocking out of control. Consoles start erupting, the lights go out, like you're getting thrown across the ship, and the sort of like the ship kind of goes into chaos, and you get thrown out of warp. Right. So we'll kind of go to each individual character, and we'll kind of ask you what you're going to do in the situation. So there's a couple things that you notice right off the bat. You lost a lot of power to the ship. Something's seriously wrong, right? The lights are out. Some consoles have been blown out. People have been thrown around, and you've sort of been kicked out of warp, right? Because you were in warp on your way to that Klingon ship. So what are we going to do? We'll start off with Commander Masters. What are you going to do now?
I'm just going to yell out to my bridge crew status report.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off. You got someone who's sort of taken over the con for Slaw, like the backup officer, sort of like this. It's a human male. He's kind of thrown down. He's getting up on the console, and he's activating the console, and he says, Commander, we've been thrown out of warp. We ran into some sort of spatial anomaly, and we've lost main power to engines. I am having a difficult time communicating with other parts of the ship. We are, it's going to take a long time to get power back to our main systems. We'll go ahead and go to Minden. Minden, what are you going to do in this situation?
I guess I'm going to.
By the way, your Space Invaders game, it's gone. Like the console has gone blank. You no longer, so all that game has not been saved.
Oh, that sucks.
Right. So the console is blank.
I guess I'm going to try to do something at the computer console, maybe underneath the console, to try to boot it back on, I guess.
Okay, good. All right, good. So we'll do a roll of, where are you at here? Let's do an insight and engineering. So that'll be a 14 for you. Go ahead and roll 2 d20s unless you want to spend a momentum already. Do you want to spend a momentum at all?
No.
Okay, so 2 d20s. This is going to be a difficulty of 1 here because it's not nothing. So difficulty
That's
of
a
1.
12 and a 19.
12 and a 19. So 1 was a miss, but 1 was a hit. So you successfully, you're able to kind of get the console back up, and you're getting some unusual readings. You're noticing a lot of like spatial distortions throughout the entire ship. You might have to do some additional. Do you have a question, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
My fingers and thumbs, when I succeeded a task using a computer console, including a bridge station, I gain 1 bonus momentum.
Okay, so that's good, but we've already reached our maximum momentum, so that won't apply. So let's go ahead and save that.
This one says this bonus momentum cannot be saved into the group pool. So is that like individual momentum?
No, we'll go ahead. Yeah, we'll go ahead and throw some additional momentum on top of that. That's fine with me. All right. Very good. So you might have to do some additional scans to figure out what's going on, but you know that there is some unusual readings. You notice that you sort of ran into something, right? You ran into something that's caused a lot of damage to the ship. Okay. So we'll go ahead and go to that's kind of what's happening on. Unless Commander Masters, are you going to ask somebody else any additional thing? We'll kind of stick to the bridge. Is there anything else you want to ask additional members of the ship?
I mean, yeah. So I want to report from tactical on if they see anything nearby. I want to report from science on, what they think happened from the helm on where we're at.
Okay, let me stick with those first two things. All right, so tactical, Donkra, he's kind of up. He wasn't knocked down. He was up the entire time. He's kind of holding on the console, and he goes, Commander, I'm not getting any readings of any hostile ships. There's no ships in the area. I'm not exactly sure what happened. We definitely ran into something, but we weren't attacked.
How do we run into something at warp?
Okay, he'll say something like, "I do not know, sir. I don't know,
Okay.
sir." All right. So who else would you ask?
Science on
Okay, so
any odd readings or any hypotheses.
okay, so we're going back to Minden, right? So Minden, you want to do some additional scans now that you got that console working?
Sure.
Okay, so this is going to be a difficulty of 2, right? Because you're not sure what's happening right now. Systems are down. You're not getting complete readings, so you're sort of having to hypothesize what just happened. All right, so we're going to do a difficulty of 2. You have 2 d20s. If you want to increase your odds, I guess you can roll, and if you don't succeed, you can add some momentum to it if you want to. So you just want to do that first?
That's a 2 and a 9.
Okay, so this is going to be insight, and we'll say science. So we'll give 15. And what was it?
2 and a 9. So both succeed.
Both succeeded. Very good. No need to do that. All right. So as you're scanning the device, or as you're scanning, and sort of you start to notice that you ran into a pocket. What you're calling, you're kind of talking to Commander Masters. You're calling it a pocket of a spatial disturbance pocket. And it sort of knocked you out of warp.
We ran into a hot pocket.
Ran into a hot pocket. And you're saying you're not exactly sure exactly what it is, why it knocked you out of warp, but you're having a difficult time communicating with other areas of the ship. Right? So that's sort of what you're getting so far. You'll have to do additional scans.
It's like a localized EMP.
Okay.
Can I
Yeah.
try to message Captain Tuvok's quarters?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you try to contact Captain Tuvok, and you hear like his voice. And he goes, Captain Tuvok says, report.
Captain, looks like we have run through a something in space that has pulled us out and is interfering with communication on the ship. No danger currently seen on our sensors, but I'd recommend you come back to the bridge.
He says, I'm on my way. And then as soon as you hear him say way, it breaks out. Sort of like the communication with Captain Tuvok breaks out. Anything else? We'll move. Let's go to Slaw. We'll come back to you guys here in a second. All right. So Slaw, you're in the shuttle bay. You both were you're only two in the shuttle bay, but you were thrown across the room,
Okay.
right? And sort of like some of the shuttles were moved around, and you're kind of getting up. What do you want to do?
So, and you said all communication is dead now. Like,
I didn't say that. You can try.
what was the chief engineer's name again? Who was it?
Zom,
Zom. Sorry,
Zom, the Ferengi.
trying to write all this down. Okay. I guess from the shuttle bay, we try to communicate with the bridge.
Okay.
Bridge. Do you read?
Right. So you kind of contact. You said, Lieutenant Slaw to the bridge, and you get nothing.
I get nothing. Okay.
Mhm.
And is Zom injured?
Zom, he's kind of hurt. Like he's kind of he's got a little bit of a bruise on his shoulder, and he kind of gets up and he's like, "What the hell just happened?"
Okay. Then I guess I'll head over to Zom and hey, I guess he's my commanding officer at this point. Does he outrank me?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's say you're the same rank.
We're the same rank. Okay.
You're the same rank, and you're on the bridge, so you sort of kind of outrank him
A little bit. Okay. I guess
a
I
little
would say,
bit.
well, do you need to get back to engineering to get your report? And then I ask him if he needs me to accompany him to engineering.
He goes, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I need to get to." This is my Ferengi voice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
that's a good idea. I need to get to engineering right away. Hold on, let me contact. And he contacts his second in command of engineering, and he goes, "Zom to engineering," and he kind of hears another voice saying, Lieutenant Zom, the things are pretty crazy down here. We recommend that you get here as soon as," and it cuts out.
So at this point, we know that communication is erratic. Okay. So now
Yes,
we're
communications erratic.
so
Yeah.
we attempt to get out of the shuttle bay and head to engineering. So I guess we
Okay, so
attempt
is
to
that what
open
you're?
the shuttle bay, open the not the shuttle bay door, but the the other
Yeah.
door towards engineering.
Okay. All right. So as you're walking, so you open up the shuttle bay and the doors, and you're walking out, and you're going in the direction of engineering. You and Zom are kind of talking to each other right now, like, "Oh, I don't know what happened. We need to get to engineering right away. Are you going to come with me to engineering, or are you going to go to the bridge?"
And I will follow you to engineering.
All right, thanks. I could really actually appreciate the help. I don't know why we can't have contact with the bridge right now. So you're walking on the way. You're sort of talking, and you're on your way to the bridge, to the engineering. You turn a corner and you walk, and you're by the holodeck. And and Zom kind of turns to you and goes, "Did we just make a wrong turn? Why are we next to the holodeck?"
I don't know. And we'll look behind us. And is it the same? Am I looking at this where we came from, or looking at something different now?
You're looking behind you, and there's a turn.
Oh, there's just a turn. Okay, I'll walk back to where I came from and just peek around the corner.
Okay, you look around the corner and you see you see a hall. You see a couple of places where people are living, like their quarters. Zom kind of turns the corner and goes, "Are there supposed to be quarters on this deck?"
Oh, no, there's not supposed to be quarters on this deck.
Wait, hold on. I thought we were on our way to engineering. Why are we next to the holodecks? And then the holodeck doors open, and you see Dr. Danar. Applause. Dr. Danar comes out, and he goes,
Oh, sorry.
"Lieutenant Slaw, I'm so glad you came by. I've been working on my new holodeck novel. I wonder if you wouldn't mind helping me out with my new holodeck novel."
Doctor, we've had a crash in space somehow. I don't have any information. All the communication is erratic. We're trying to get to engineering, and we've lost all communication with the bridge and engineering. Is there anything?
Wait, we lost
Have you heard
communication.
anything here while being in the holodeck?
We lost communication with the bridge.
Yes, we've lost all communication.
Well, that's definitely not good. Did you want to come to the holodeck? Why are you coming to the holodeck?
Well, we just came from the shuttle bay, and we turned the corner, and all of a sudden there was the holodeck, and we're not sure what's going on.
he kind of gives you a confused look, and his antennas are going in a different direction. He goes, Lieutenant Slaw, I thought the shuttle bay was on a different deck than the holodecks.
It is, Doctor. My only guess is we've hit some kind of distortion in space, and it's messing with the ship.
Well, that's definitely not good. Should I just go to my quarters now?
Actually, no. I think you need to probably stick with us. I don't think separating right now is a good idea.
All right, that sounds like a good idea to me. All right, so he's kind of hanging out with you. Should we go back to the bridge, or we stick with Lieutenant Slaw for a little bit?
What was Danar? What was his race?
He's like a civilian researcher.
Is he human? Is he
He's Andorian.
Andorian?
He's the blue with the antennas.
Okay. Okay.
All
right.
Let's go back to the bridge for a second. No. Let's don't do that. Slaw, you're all three of you are hanging together. You're trying to figure out what to do, and you get a communication. Captain Tuvok to anyone who's receiving this message.
Oh, yes, Captain. This is Lieutenant Slaw.
Lieutenant Slaw, I was on my way to the bridge, and I found myself next to the holodecks. I'm not sure I was in my quarters, and I was on my way in the direction of the bridge, and all of a sudden I found myself down below, away from the saucer section. Do you know what's happening?
No, sir. My only guess is a possible distortion. I haven't had any type of communication with the bridge and very limited communication with engineering. We were headed to engineering, and we are also on the next to the holodecks as well.
I understand. I think my top priority is to get to the bridge. I highly recommend that you get to engineering. We need to find a way that we can communicate with each other. And then his comm badge goes out.
And me, the doctor, and Zom are all looking around because we thought the captain would be right outside next to our holodecks, and I guess we don't see him.
You don't see him.
He's gone.
All right, back to the bridge. What do we want to do in this situation?
Who all do I have on the bridge right now?
Let's say you have Donkra, you got Minden, obviously, you got someone on the con. Maybe you have like one person kind of walking around, some backup officer. So you got somebody in the con, you got Donkra on tactical, you got Minden at science, and one other person on the bridge with you.
Where's Donkra in the command hierarchy?
He's a lieutenant, I think.
He is.
Okay. I'm going to say continue to search, try to find out where we are. Lieutenant Donkra, you have the con. I'm going to find the captain. Then I'm going to go get in the turbo lift.
All right. Very good. All right, so Donkra sort of takes command. Commander Masters, you're in the turbo lift. Where do you want to go in the turbo lift?
I'm going to go to the deck with the captain's quarters.
Yeah, with the captain's quarters. All right, so you say captain's quarters. The turbo lift takes you down. It opens up. You see the warp core. You're in engineering.
Okay. Do I see anybody?
Yeah, you see like the engineering crew. Like let's say there's a crewman there and says, Commander, do you know what's happening? We've been trying to contact the bridge. We can't get a hold of anybody.
How have you noticed anything weird with the warp core? Are we safe?
Well, all I know, sir, is that we can't go to warp. We can't get the warp core going. We don't have impulse. We don't have any sort of propulsion. We've been trying to get the warp core online this entire time. What we can tell is that there's something disrupting the warp core. Obviously, we've been trying to contact anybody else on the ship, but we have not been able to do so.
Communication is down all throughout the ship. Do whatever you can to get power back and point me to the nearest Jeffries tube.
All right. All right. So he kind of points you to a Jeffries tube. We'll say, sir, yeah, we'll definitely work on that. Sir, I do want to warn you. I did send out an ensign to go to the bridge, and we don't know where he went.
Well, I was trying to get to the captain's quarters, so something is obviously going on. Just
Okay.
do what you can.
All right, we'll definitely do that, sir. He sort of points to the Jeffrey tube for you, and you can kind of go to the Jeffrey's tube. We'll kind of come back to you. We'll go back to Minden, who's on the bridge. Minden, what are you doing right now?
I guess just trying to work on communications throughout the whole ship.
Okay. So like what are you doing? Like what's your thought process in trying to solve this problem that's happening?
Mm,
Oh, penguin.
mm,
Like what do you want to do? Like what are you thinking about doing right now? Do you want to try to continue to maybe scan um, the sort of like the outside of the ship? Maybe you're trying to get some more readings to try to figure out sort of like what's happening to the ship right now.
I guess maybe scan to see if anything's attached itself to the ship.
Okay. All right. So let's say this is a difficulty of one. You do definitely have plenty of momentum to spend, but you do have those d20s if you want to. Let's say this is insight and science. So you got 15. Go ahead and roll your two d20s.
That's an 11 and an 8.
11 and an 8. So both are a success. All right. So as you're scanning the outside of the ship, you notice that, you got the sort of the saucer section of the ship, but you notice that there is a sort of like a barrier that's splitting areas of the ship into several pieces. You're not sure what's happening, but you definitely know that the various parts of the ship are sort of being twisted with some sort of like spatial disturbance going on.
Can we just put it in reverse?
All right. So, do you want to tell the person on con? Maybe Donkra sort of ask the person on the con. Can we try to go in reverse? The person on the con goes, "Sir, we don't have any sort of propulsion. We don't have warp. We don't have impulse. We don't even have thrusters at this point." Should we go? Should we kind of come back to? We'll go Slaw. What you gonna do?
The good doctor, Zom, and myself are now still walking down. We've left that holodeck area, headed to a turbo lift to see if we can get where we need to go via turbo lift.
Okay, so you get in the turbo lift. All three of you together. Mm-hmm. You get into the turbo lift. Where do you want to go?
Engineering.
All right, engineering. You say engineering, it goes doo-doo-doo, and it takes you, and it's kind of going for a little bit, and then the sort of the doors open, and you can see it's 10 forward.
We're in 10 forward now.
You're in 10 forward. I see the bartender and the bartender. So you walk into 10 forward, and the bartender goes,
Wait. Who's the bartender?
It's not Guinan. Some other person, right? And the bartender kind of turns to you and goes, "Sirs, do you know what's happening right now?"
No, we don't. But we were trying to get to engineering. First, we started walking there, got to the holodecks. Then we jumped on the turbo lift, tried to get to engineering there, and ended up in 10 forward. And now here we are. And is he the only one in 10 forward, or are there other people in 10 forward?
There's a couple other people in there, you know. And
Anybody of rank?
You have some low-ranking officers in there. No one of any significance.
Okay. And I guess I'll say, hey, have you noticed any more or any less traffic through 10 forward in the last hour?
We've had a couple of people come in here telling us similar stories. We had a couple other people going, saying they're going to try to get to the bridge, back to their stations. We haven't heard anything from them. I've been trying to contact anybody else on the ship, and communications have not gone through.
Okay, so everybody that has left 10 forward hasn't come back to 10 forward.
That's true. We've had a couple people who weren't in here before who came in, but other than that, we have not.
And then we'll ask the bartender, can you attempt to use your communication to reach the bridge?
Yeah, of course. I'll attempt it right now. So he kind of says, bartender to the bridge. And you hear Captain Tuvok's voice. This is the captain, bartender, whoever he is. Where are you right now? And he says, we're in 10 forward. I have Lieutenant Slull. We have Dr. Danar, and we have Lieutenant Zom with me right now. And he says, tell them to stay where they're at right now. I'm close by.